Today's series is going to be a deep core, focused, short, quick series, really tapping into every little layer of deep muscle inside of the abdominal wall. We're going to start with the ball between your inner thighs, and we're going to take it a little bit closer to your pelvis. So if you are feeling up for a roll down right off the bat, you're going to hold it here. If not, you're going to take that ball underneath your lower back for a little support while we warm ourselves up. Tiny squeeze here, knees are in parallel. We're going to slowly start to scoop and roll down. We're going to peel yourself down to the floor. And then we're going to take a deep inhale as we lift it up. So one thing I want you to do is really anchor your feet here. Just start to breathe, whether it's an inhale down, an exhale down, whatever feels comfortable for you, but we're going to start to activate some really nice deep abdominal muscles through this tiny squeeze of the ball. So I have ankle weights on here today to intensify some of the movements, but you can absolutely do this without. We're going to try to release some of this momentum here and try to connect a little bit more into the resistance through space as we're moving. And up. Let's do two more. Peeling it down. And stretch. And then let's lift. And then one more here. Scoop and roll all the way down. Nice big reach out through those fingertips. And then let's lift yourself up. Now we're going to scoot yourself forward, slowly make your way down to the floor as we slowly draw those knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug here. We're going to rock side to side. And we're going to start to take your feet up into tabletop. Hands are going to go out to the side, expanding through the chest here. We're going to do a little squeeze of the ball and release. Now, while we're doing this little mini squeeze, I want you to feel how it's really the hips internally rotating and not just the knees squeezing. So it's really about this full leg piece, finding this deep low abdominals and inner thigh connection. So when we say deep core, we really mean this kind of full area of the trunk, right? It's not just the abdominals, it's like all of these different pieces, back included, and open. Tiny squeeze. And release. We have two more. And then we have one more here. Now we're going to do a little mini squeeze and hold. We're going to do a tiny dip down. We're going to lift it back up and then release. So tiny squeeze, little dip back to center and release. So as we're doing this, we're going to try to really maintain in a neutral pelvis. Squeeze, dip, up, and release. We have three more. Breathing through here. And two more. Already feeling how we're tapping very deeply into the abdominals, but also the inner thighs here too. Up and then open. Tiny squeeze of that ball. We're doing a little circle to the right, back to center, and then over to the left. And back to center. So we're going to continue to do kind of one side to the next, just through a tiny squeeze of the ball. If you need to take your hands in a little bit closer into the body for some support, you can do so. You can play around with where those arms go, whether the palms are up, whether they're down, whether they're into your side. Okay, what we want to focus on is how we're making these movements small so that we really keep a neutral pelvis. And don't forget to squeeze the ball. I noticed I was releasing it, so I'm going to find that squeeze. Let's go circle, center, and then one more over to the left. And center. Now we're going to just do a little rock to the right, back to center, little rock to the left, back to center. Now our hips can lift, okay? One hip is lifted, but your shoulders are going to stay onto the floor. So we're going to not rotate the entire body. We're just doing a little bit of a lower body move here. Center. Let's do one more on each side. And last one. And then we're going to draw your knees in. Give yourself a little hug. We're going to grab onto that ball and we're going to take your fingertips up to the ceiling. Your knees are going to be in tabletop. So we're giving that ball just a little mini squeeze here. What we're going to do is dip your right leg. We're going to stretch your hands slightly up over your head. Draw it back to center. Let's go opposite leg and center here. So we're still keeping neutral. We're giving the ball just a little squeeze and a little length out of the core to play around with which muscles are activating here. So we're getting into a little bit of the obliques. Let's go stretch and center. Stretch, center. Keep breathing through here. Let's reach, making sure that you're still stabilizing by holding on that ball. We're not doing a really huge squeeze, but just enough so that we're activating the pecs, we're activating the biceps and core here. We're gonna take both legs together. Now we're gonna do both arms, both legs here, back to center. Let's go stretch. Back to center. And reaching it out. Let's do 2 more. And big stretch. We have 1 more for good luck. Big stretch here. Now let's drop the knees over to the side, taking the ball off, giving yourself just a little rotation of the spine. Pulling the knees back to center with your core, taking the ball in the opposite arm. Big, nice twist and stretch. And then we're gonna draw yourself back to center. Knees are back up in tabletop, and we're gonna take the ball onto your right knee, right hand here, left hand behind your head. So we're gonna start with just a little mini lift. We're gonna stretch that left leg out, draw it in. Nice big reach out through the leg, draw it in. Trying really hard to keep the body really nice and stable on the floor. So we're gonna try not to wobble forward and back as the knee comes in. We're just doing a tiny lift up in the upper body. And let's do 1 more. Now as the leg extends, we're gonna go a little twist to the right, back to center, a little twist, and center. Tiny rotation here, so the arm is pushing into the ball equally as the knee is pushing into the ball here too. Twist, center. Let's do 2 more, and 1 more. Drawing your knees in, giving yourself a little hug. We're taking the hand into the opposite side, opposite knee here, tabletop, and then hand. Tiny lift, starting with this nice reach out through the legs. So we're gonna go big stretch, draw the knee in, and stretch, and in. Breathing through here, and in. We have 2 more. And 1 more here. And then now as the leg extends, tiny twist, back to center, tiny twist, and center. So we're feeling how we're grounding ourselves onto the floor, keeping it nice and slow. We have 2 more, and 1 more here. Drawing the knees in, giving yourself a little hug. We can go ahead and take that ball behind your back here. So kind of more into the center, a little bit higher than center. We're gonna find yourselves into a nice little stretch over the ball for a second. You can allow your knees to open up, allow your abdominal wall to stretch out first. We're gonna start to walk your knees into parallel. We're gonna take 1 hand behind your head and we're gonna curl. So we're gonna stretch out through the opposite leg and we're gonna find yourself in neutral. I don't want tucking, okay, we want length. Hand goes behind your head here. We're gonna come back to center. And then we're gonna do a little twist. So as we're twisting, we're gonna try not to tuck. Okay, you can see how this is all collapsing here. We want length out of the core as we twist. We're using this bottom arm for some support here. And twist. We have 3 more. 2 more here. And 1 more. And then on this next one, we're gonna hold, keep the twist. We're gonna do little lifts of this lower leg. Tiny lift here. Keeping just a little mini lift in this upper body, but we're really trying to tap into the core as that leg lifts. We have 3, 2, and 1. Drawing that foot together, stretching yourself open, deep inhale and exhale. I'm gonna have you continuously lay there as we switch over to the other side, but I am going to flip around so that I can show you the opposite side here. So ball goes behind your back. We're in this nice position here to start. Deep inhale and exhale. And then we're gonna walk your knees in parallel, hand goes out to your side, opposite hand goes behind your head. We're gonna curl and stretch out through your leg. So starting with a nice open chest through the center, and then a little twist over to the side. Really ensuring that we're not tucking in the side of the body. I know that's probably one of the biggest challenges here, is to keep a really nice long spine. But we're gonna try really hard to keep it there. Let's go open and up. We have 2 more here. And 1 more. On the next one, we're gonna keep this nice little twist and hold here. Little lifts of the leg. How are we feeling? I know this is hard. Keep going here. And let's do a few more. Let's do 3, 2, and 1. Back to center. Scoot yourself forward so the ball's a little higher on your shoulders. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Just allowing yourself to melt over the ball. And then we're going to slowly roll off to the side. We can take the ball onto its stand or wherever you put your ball, taking your hands underneath your shoulders here. We're going to start by just rocking yourself back and forward. So we're going to feel how we've created so much deep heat in the core, and now we want to continuously work the core to support the full body here. Realizing also how abdominal work is not just laying down work that looks like abdominal work, right? It can be also done in this position. Let's do 2 more. And then we have 1 more. And then let's come back to center. Let's tuck your toes underneath. We're going to do a little hover of the knees, and we're going to open up the knees, come back to center, drop the knees down. So we're doing a little hover of the knees, opening up the knees, squeezing it back to center, and down. Let's keep going. Tiny hover, open, in, down. We have 3 more. Hover, open, in, down. 2 more. Open. We're really using outer thighs, inner thighs here through this deep support through the core. Last one. Open, in, and down. Sitting yourself back out into a child's pose, reaching through your fingertips, giving your hips a nice little wiggle, side to side. And then we're taking yourselves back onto your hands and knees. We're going to start by taking your left hand behind your head. We're going to do a little rotation over to the right. We're going to come back to center, little twist to the left, back to center. Tiny rotation to the right, back to center, little twist, and center. Now I want you to really feel how this rotation comes from the core. Tiny twist, center. We have 2 more here. Twist, center, last one. And twist, and center. Dropping the hand down, finding neutral again before we begin on the other side. Hand behind your head, twist, open, rotation, down. Breathing through here as well. It's very important to breathe, especially as we're doing some of these rotational work here. Twist. 2 more. Twist. Last one. And twist. And down. Beautiful. Hands back underneath your shoulders. Let's give yourself a big, nice stretch here. We're going to start to tuck your toes underneath. Let's push yourself out into a full plank. Energy out through your head, out through your tailbone. Deeply activate that core as we bend your knees. We're going to push yourself back. Exhale, stretch. Let's take a deep inhale and then elongate out of the body. Let's keep going here. And stretch. We have 2 more. Feel how we're elongating out of the core while still deeply tapping into all of the different layers. We have 1 more. We're going to hold, stretch out through your heels, go a little rock onto your toes, back onto the heels, toes, heels here. We have 3 more, 2 more, 1 more. And then dropping your knees and sitting yourself back. Little wiggle through your hips. We're gonna end in a nice butterfly, or not butterfly, mermaid stretch here. Rolling through the body, let's lift your feet up. Give your abdominals a nice big stretch. Zipping up through the core, and let's sit yourself back. Rolling through. Getting a full articulation of the spine here, soft elbows as we lift. I want you to try not to just fold yourself in half. Feel yourself really lifting up through the low abdominals. Getting a nice extension, but also length. And down, one more. And then down, let's just sit yourself here. We're gonna take one hand onto each shoulder here, walk your elbows out a little further away, and then sit yourself back. Both hands reaching all the way out. We're gonna roll yourself up onto all fours, taking your knees in parallel. We're gonna take your right hand up to the ceiling, nice big twist. We're gonna fold it over, and then we're gonna take it under and go down onto your shoulder, holding this twist for a second. And come back to center. We're gonna take left hand, stretch it up, twist, fold it underneath onto your shoulder. And let's take it back to center, back out into a child's pose, and we're gonna roll up onto your knees, one vertebrae at a time, letting your head be the very last piece. Don't rush through this. And then you can roll your shoulders back, and you're all done. Great job.